the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi, all the generals here present, all mourners, ladies and gentlemen. We come here to mourn General Biraro, but also to celebrate. You've heard the part John has talked about, how they went to the bush. We had issues there of different the intellectuals, then as part of history. Those of us who had been Makerere. I think one thing I noticed where there is a bit of confusion is for people to look at these struggles as if they are separate. Struggles in life are never separate. Struggles are a continuous process since creation. So at times you hear the Bush War, then you hear about different struggles. No, there is a line since our society came into being, and it will continue. It's part of human nature. I think the only difference in the different phases of struggle is that the choices that we make as the human beings who get involved in those struggles. And I salute General Biraro for the choice that he made. First, go into the bush. By God's grace, we took power. When we took power, again, there were other choices that we had to make. As we stand here, with the benefit of hindsight, it enables us to realize that perhaps what took us to the bush, the objectives were not similar, or the intentions were not similar. Again, it's part of human nature, because it is choices. Because you could clearly see that when we went and when we came back, that there are two types of intentions, two types of objectives that guided the different of us. It seems to me that some looked at us taking power from the UPC government was an end in itself. And then there were those who knew that the moment you take power, that's the beginning of struggle. Because we went the bush for a cause. I salute General Bernard Biraro. But he stuck to that. Truth must be spoken about, because it's not easy. Joy, thank you. And the children. Because, you know, getting married to people who walk the straight path can be tough. He hung in there, you hung in there with him. Thank you. May God bless you. The children at times may not understand. General may not live much in the world. Yes, we all need things, the physical things in life. Everybody needs them. Even if they are not, it may not be much that he would leave, but there's one thing that he's left for you, and you need to be proud in it. Maybe at this point in time you may not realize it, but as you grow up, by God's grace, you'll come to realize it. A name. Physical things perish. You can have the most beautiful car, it burns up, a house can go down, you can rebuild them. When a name goes, rebuilding it is very tough. So whatever challenges you may go through, know that. And I thank God again that General Biraro accepted Christ in his life as his personal savior. Met last year, I think, at a Pan-African meeting. And at that time, he had come back from India. I didn't know when he was, that there was a recurrence. I bumped a while back I was in a cafe, I bumped into Satayewa. He's the one who told me, Bernard is not feeling good. You need to go see if you can see him. By God's grace, I was able to get there. I thank God that I was able to have a chat with him when I did, a while back. He gave me his testimony. I know that whatever trials and challenges and the pain that he went through, that he has gone when he's at peace. Thank God. No anger, no regrets, nothing. Very, very important. And of course, it's not easy for us who are in uniform to accept Christ in your life as your personal savior. There's a challenge because, you know, in the army, I mean, we are soldiers. We fight. That is how we are trained to do. We want to sort out things at an individual level, at an institutional level, and when you are trained, you go through tough conditions and you believe in yourself, and at times you can believe that you are the one solving issues. I was there, I know. General Tumwine is not here, it looks like. I've never told this to him. You need to mention it to him. You know, he used to preach to me before I got saved. I've never told this to him. Every time he would preach to me, he said, you know, you need to accept Christ in your life. I never told him. I'd look at him and say, this guy has been so battered by life, he has given up. Yeah, that happens. That's what I used to think, like, if I saw someone who was saved. Now, in my time, there used to be a placard there. Footsteps. Today I didn't see them. I don't know what happened. But when I read that placard one time I was in church, I think it was in 1998, that's what led me to start a Bible study with the Navigators. And within 1 year, I had accepted Christ in my life as my personal savior. Went through the same, because the more you know God, the more you become deep and deep within you. You start understanding the things of life, you start understanding and you go through a journey of becoming humble, from being, you know, to, again, of course, that's an area of confusion, because when we look at people who are saved, you know, who are humble, who are meek, we think that's weakness. But when you go through that process, that's when you start understanding that actually being humble is strength under control. For Ben on what he has gone through. As you heard, the whole team which went that day, because they came in June 82. I had been in the bush in 81, 21st March. The team I went with, I think we were about 11. Literally, the ones surviving about 9. Now in their group, only one is surviving, John. It's a long story. What I thank God for is that because of the character of Benon, what he did, the testimony which is out there in the public, because I've been looking at the social media, the number of people who are giving him credit. You know, right now in this town, those of us who went to the bush are not the most popular guys around. Actually, when you talk about the bush, there are quite a number of people who want speed. It has its own history. That's not an issue for today. But to find people crediting Benon, people whom he met in different places, from different parts of the country, from different religious groups, that tells you what it means. To seek more for character and doing the good things than the other things which are always there, hovering around, which can easily divert us from the path. I don't think I'm the only one who's looking at what is happening in the social media. From different people, and it also gives me hope that while we may not be the most popular, those who went to the bush, people are getting tired of that. It seems we've rubbed it so much in their faces that when they do that, about someone who was in the bush, then it shows you that there is hope, that there can be recovery. Why on this planet? Why on this country? It's not the physical things, it's the things we don't touch. Things of justice, things of fairness, things of loving, you know, one another. It's a process. By God's grace, we will get there. The generals who are here in uniform, we served, we were in uniform, we left the army, we just, some of us chose to join politics. Actually, I mentioned it when I was retiring in Bomba. I told the command there that, yes, I'm going to politics from this point onwards. I'm going to the opposition. That's not the issue for today. The political things, we are in disagreement with General Museveni. That's not the issue today. He believes in what he does. We believe in what we do. We'll sort out that politically. That's a totally different issue. I don't want us to debate it here. We'll sort out that politically. But for the generals in uniform, I really don't want to be presumptuous or to stand here and make it seem that I can give you advice. I've been there. I know what it means. I just keep praying for you. And those of you who believe in, pray for yourselves. If you don't believe in God, use the training you got. You're highly educated. You are well trained, most of you. You have capacity for analysis. Pray to God that you get the wisdom and the courage to manage this country through any transition that could happen. Change happens. There are people who think change can't happen. Change happens. It's a factor of life. It's a law of nature. It's a spiritual law. Nobody is going to stop change when it happens. I'll be speaking for myself. I won't be speaking for anybody who is in uniform or who is... At times, many people think that I'm in touch with General Museven. I'm not. The last time we spoke one-on-one was in 2005, Nakasero, State House. I've not burdened anybody in uniform to carry the message I would like to send. I was looking for the Minister of Defense. I don't see him here. So I suppose I'll have to ask another minister who might be here. I see only one. So it looks the burden falls on you. Engineer Yavagambi. I've heard General Museveni, the President, the Commander-in-Chief, mention, he keeps saying, my army, my army, my army. Please, with respect, I would like you to carry this message to him. Because I don't know what is at the back of his mind when he says that. Because it could be two things. One, it could be part of psychological warfare. It happens. If it's part of psychological warfare, by the time you get your opponent, they're already flattened at a psychological level. If it is that, I would understand. Power can make us do a number of strange things in life. So that one I understand. What I wouldn't understand, and that's why I would like to ask, at whatever point he feels comfortable, he needs to enlighten us, those of us who fought, who've been in uniform. At least for me, I ask, that when I went to the bush, I didn't go to fight for an individual, I went to fight for a cause. So when we were NRA, we are not a personal army, we are a national army, and we are fighting to ensure it becomes national. It is a transition, it's a process. When it turned to UPDF as it is now, it's not a person's army, it's a national army. And we'll do everything humanly possible to ensure that that comes into reality. Because if that didn't come into reality, it would be unfortunate for those of us who have served, those who are dead, and those who are still living. That would live in a situation where a person would think that we could ever fight for an individual. I hope you'll be courageous enough to pass on that message to him. May God bless you all.